Biennial MSGERC meeting. I want to thank Peter Williamson for correcting my grammar because for about the first year this was the biannual meeting, and after Peter accepted, he said, shouldn't it be biennial? And he was correct, and so we changed this in all of our handouts. I really want to thank each of you for being here. This is very special. I think that this meeting has been a long time in planning, and it's not often that we can get together as friends and investigators. And so this is going to be a very special time. We specifically wanted to have more of a sequestered type of environment, and so that's why we chose a small venue like this, or a sequestered venue where you can't get away. So I hope that this is conducive to what I expect and hope to be a very interactive exchange between all of us. There's an emphasis here that we've not had before, and that is emphasis on bringing new people into mycology. That's been a stated purpose of ours, and so while there are not as many new faces as I had hoped for, they're more than we've had in the past. And so one of the things I want to not forget is that when we go to our meetings, or to our meals especially, those of us who are older, please go out of the way to meet some of the younger people whose faces you don't recognize. And those who are bringing younger folks with them, please introduce them to individuals who might help open some doors for these individuals as they kind of grow in this career. I think there's nothing, each one of us who's had any measure of success all had someone to help us open some doors. And so I would like to challenge each of us who are older to do the same. Okay. I'm going to go through a brief set of announcements, and then I'm going to introduce the speakers, and then we'll be off and running. First of all, I want to thank the sponsors. They're not up there any longer, but I want to thank them, and they're listed in your brochure, but I'd like to thank them individually. Diamond sponsors Astellas and Gilead, Merck, Synexus, and Viamet came in as platinum sponsors. Gold sponsors Sedera, Emmy, Matinas, and T2 Biosystems, and bronze sponsor Mira Vista. One of the things that we've accomplished over the last decade is to bring together multi-sponsored events, mostly CME events, but this is, I think, a testimony to one of the things that we've been able to accomplish, and that is bringing a lot of disparate and competing groups together to sponsor one thing that's good for all. We could not have this meeting without them. They basically are paying for about 2/3 of the meeting, and of course, you're paying for the other third. But this really couldn't be done without them. I encourage you to visit them. Their booths or their tables are visited or are on either side. Go by and meet these individuals as well. And we'll talk a little bit more about pharmaceuticals and our relationships with them as the meeting goes on. Eating, very important to us. This is a camp. This is basically summer camp. And so meeting times are very strict. And so in the morning time, it's 7:30 to 9, but the meeting starts at 8. So they literally ring a cowbell in the morning that tells you that breakfast is being served. So you will hear it. That's your signal that you got 30 minutes to eat before the meeting starts in here. Lunch is 12 to 1, and then dinner is 6 to 7. Your meal tickets don't work after that. There are other places to eat around here, but they're not covered. The Wi-Fi is in the meeting space. These are that's your sign-on information. Want to indicate there are a couple of changes in the schedule that have to do with the organized dinners. Tonight was the only dinner that we'll be spending in that venue next where we just were. The dinner tomorrow night is from Woodlands to Seascape, which is just to the right of the Cocker Dining Hall where we were. And so they'll be on site to direct you to that. So that's what we'll be eating tomorrow night and Thursday night. As you can see, there are a lot of openings in places where people can gather for small group meetings. We encourage you to do that. There's enough free time in the schedule to allow you to do that. But one in particular is the Scripps Room, which is, I'm just going to kind of point in that direction. It's not far from the Marlin Room where registration was. Scripps Room has open space, seating, and you can meet in small groups of 10 to 15 if you wish. And it's more private than this public space is. There's also a charging station that's there at the Scripps Room, and that's being sponsored by Gilead. After the conference, this is not formally CME, but after the conference, you will receive a survey, and we need your input. We're going to, among the group, we're going to have sort of a post-meeting autopsy and go through what was good and what was bad. We're going to talk with our sponsors and do the same thing. It's absolutely important that we get that critical information so we can plan the next meeting properly. We're going to videotape and audio tape all the sessions here, so please, speakers, speak into the microphone, and just remember that you're on camera and being recorded. Finally, the discussion groups. In the past, those of you who have been to MSG meetings remember that we had a lot of concurrent sessions. We have not done that here. What we've done is scheduled 4 distinct separate sessions, and they are devoted to endemics, crypto, aspergillus, and Canada in that order. Each session is initiated with some plenary lectures, and then we will have a group that I've identified who I've asked to come up here and kind of be the focal point of the discussion. There may be 10, there may be 15 or 20 be seated here on the stage. These are people who I know have an interest in a certain area, crypto or Canada, whatever. I've missed some people, I'm sure. There are a lot of new people whom I don't know what their main interest is. But the point of these discussions, this is really the meat of the meeting, and that is the interaction that goes between the people in the audience and the people on the stage. What are the new ideas that we're trying to generate? What are the challenges? How can we work with some of the basic scientists that are here? How can they work with us? What ideas are sponsorable? And so these are the types of discussions that will go on. And it really goes well if everybody is involved. But again, it's hard to have a discussion with 100 people, and so I've kind of whittled it down to individuals who I know have a specific interest in that particular area. And so that'll be where the discussion starts, but it will end hopefully with those in the audience who are interested in this commenting as well. Those who haven't been asked to participate in this, if there's room and you want to be up here, please let me know, or just sit on the front row. It'll be difficult to hear you if you're talking this way. It'll be much easier if you're seated up here or can turn around and so forth. So the discussion groups are really important. There's an important aspect to what we do and what we're going to accomplish here in the next couple of days. Okay, so let me see if I can actually get to my... Okay, yeah, okay, let's see if this will do it. Did that do it? Yay, what do you know? Okay, so welcome. That was my welcome. I want to thank the committee that pulled this agenda together and helped to conceive this meeting. And I want to name everybody here. But I'd also like to especially really honor and praise our group that we hired, Castellan and Associates, Beth Castellan, Debbie Zapparoni, Helen Leibowitz, and others. So I'd like to, you'll be working with them through this meeting. They have been very, very diligent in putting it together and are making all the arrangements that neither Carolyn nor I have the expertise or time to do. But I found them to be extraordinarily helpful, responsive, and I think you'll find them to be that way as well. Again, our sponsors, can't thank you enough. We couldn't have the meeting without you, and so once again, thanks. Beth, Debbie, and Linda Maloney are all in the back and will be here at these sessions and can help with issues that you might have. Should emphasize this was once a chapel. It was a church. Actually, this was a YWCA, and these grounds served as place of worship for the YWCA kids that came here from Monterey in the early 1900s, as I understand it. And you can see, quotes from Isaiah and the Psalms on the wall. So if those of you who like to curse, please wait until you get outside. And just to orient you, here's where we are. This is the chapel, and that's where you registered for the hotel. This is where you registered for the meeting, the Marlin. The dining hall is here. Woodlands is here, but the new dining hall we'll be eating tomorrow and the next night is actually here. The Scripps room is up here, and it's just across really from Marlin, and where we're going to have the bonfire. That will be just on the other side of the circle. Can't walk across the circle; they have to stay on the path right now. And I just want to kind of summarize this by talking about what I think the purposes of this meeting are. I've already stated them in part, but I think those of us who are older and have been with this group for a while can understand this. We've talked about this many times. We really want to grow the interest for research in mycology at all levels. Epi, outcomes, clinical trials, diagnostics, bench to bedside research, other translational projects. I think in order to do that, we have to be able to come together like this. And I hope that this will serve as kind of a platform to facilitate those types of discussions and the fermentation of ideas. Exchange, and in doing so, exchange ideas and collaboration among clinical and basic investigators in mycology. I think what's really key is that we understand our relationship with industry. There are many, many changes, both good and bad. We don't have this, as I like to say, we don't have our dad's Pfizer, and it's a very different landscape. And we can talk about that during the business meeting a bit, because it really has changed. And the last thing, of course, is to reemphasize this is a working meeting. So please, 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 do not be shy. If you have something to say, if you have an idea that you'd like to share, please do so. This is the right venue and a safe venue to do that. I don't think people are going to walk away from here stealing ideas. I've already indicated the format, a break, facilitate discussion, and the summary presentations. On Thursday night, we will summarize the findings of all groups. You don't have to come to every session, of course. You can do what you want to, but we will summarize the findings of these discussion groups and kind of the directions we want to go. And I'm going to encourage each facilitator, each group, to kind of work offline, talk with others, get all the input that you can from those of us who are not the facilitators, but put together a plan, a straw man, and we'll see how that goes, because you're really setting the agenda for the next couple of years. And then tomorrow, we'll start with crypto in the morning. We've got 4 really outstanding lectures. We'll have a short break, and then we'll have the facilitated discussion, followed by lunch, and then we'll talk about the endemics. And as I was telling somebody, we always push the endemics to the end. They always get short shrift, but not this time. Not this time. We're going to put Canada at the very end. Okay? So we're going to type the endemics, and we've got a lot of new speakers, and so I want you to welcome these folks who've come and taken time off to do this. And then the same sort of scenario tomorrow afternoon. We'll break for dinner, and then we'll have a bonfire where we'll try to behave. Okay. John Perfect, when we were talking about the the agenda and how to start this off, John Perfect came up with the idea that we would have 3 views of mycology. And he thought that the 3 perspectives that would be most useful would come from these individuals: Jack Bennett, Joe Heitman, and Arturo Casadevall. They've all agreed to come and provide their insights on, where we've been, where are we now, where are we going. These are 3 very different talks. These are not the title of their talks, but it's kind of the gist of it. And so I'm going to introduce them, and then at the end of their talks, we'll just simply follow up with, we'll go in sequence, and then when Arturo is done, we'll have questions, and then we'll wrap it up, close up for tonight.